I think Mike McCarthy needed to tell his analytics guy to shut up, right? You got Dak Prescott, give him the ball, give him an opportunity to go back down and get some points. But like I said, if it's going to happen, let it happen in a game where you blow the team out, right? And it's early in the year, so it never happens again. But I know one thing's for sure. Whoever's in charge of clock management just got fired, because one thing coaches hate is being the butt of jokes all week, and Mike McCarthy has been a very, very big butt all week long.
Yes, that is delightfully phrased. And to be clear, the analytics themselves would absolutely tell you that you get more possessions and all that kind of. So someone was telling him, or in his own mind, he's thinking this is the way we want to go about it. So the clock management guy got fired. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, don't disparage the analytics guy, because there's an analytics nerd in his head, and then there's like Newt Rockney in his head on the other side, and he was listening to Newt, just going old school football. So like, I understand his point. I guess what he's saying is like he doesn't want to give them another opportunity, but it's the opposite reason. Like he said, I trust my defense is why he didn't do that. If you trusted your defense, you would have trusted him to get a stop. You call it timeout. And who doesn't trust their defense on 3rd and 24? That's what it was when they let the clock run, and then it goes to like 4th and 5, and they keep letting the clock run. If you trust your defense, you want to get as many possessions as possible for Dak Prescott, like RG3 just said. Like, that was a mistake. They lost the possession there.
Let me ask you a question, Ninko, because you played for a guy who I think is universally considered to be the greatest coach of his time, and maybe of any time, in Bill Belichick. And I have to believe for every player in that locker room, whether they loved him or hated him or somewhere in between, they respected that he was doing a great job. If you see a coach on your own coach, in consecutive weeks, make what were, I think, fairly obvious mistakes like that, give me a sense of what the locker room is thinking. Ninko.
Don't do it again. Don't do it in the playoffs. That's what you want to not see. And I think right now you're looking at some mistakes made in the regular seasons. It's okay because they won by a lot of points. But there are going to be situations like week 1. If that had happened against Tampa Bay and you lose that last touch, you're going to lose that football game. I know they lost anyway, but it's all about that one possession. And when it comes down to a close game, that's the deciding factor. It's that one time you don't have the football and the other team's able to go and score. The other team gets the touch and you're not able to put any points on the board. So hopefully he learns from this mistake. Hopefully, because if not, that ain't as pure as mother's milk, that's for sure.
What do you make of it all?
Well, I think especially in the NFL, players get called out all the time for when they make mistakes. So what you would want to see is a head coach at least come up to the lectern and say, you know what, my bad. You don't want to see David Culley trying to explain stuff that doesn't make sense, right? But I think if you're Jerry saying, you know, everybody, clock management issues. Come on, guys. Like, everybody's doing this.
Right.
That's not what you want to hear, Jerry. But at the end of the day, Jerry is very much in this, please, nobody say anything negative. I'm in a good space. Our team is good.
Yeah.
It's almost like if I wanted to take a victory lap around the studio for saying the Cowboys from the offseason, and unlike Greeny, who jumped on the bandwagon, you know, last week, I could, but I'm not going to do that. But Jerry is in that position of things are good. Let's not point out the negative.
We'll see. Yeah.
Jerry he's not happy. Like, he knows better than to say it publicly, but we see that with him all the time. He is not happy with the way that is turned out, and I'm sure that Mike McCarthy knows it, but Jerry knows that anything he says gets blown up, so he's not going to say it publicly. He's going to be like, no big deal, cut him some slack. But behind scenes, he's like, we can't have you turning the ball over, which is essentially what that is. It was a turnover. You gave away a possession.
Yes, and I said it the morning after it happened. If that Zerline field goal doesn't go through the uprights, that's the only thing we're talking about the entire week last week. We'll see. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.